Something's shifting, and if you've been feeling it, you're not alone. We're officially in November, and the energy this month is deep, revealing, and transformational. We're joined by our go-to intuitive astrologer, Stevie Calista, to decode what's in the stars for the month ahead. We'll be breaking it down week by week so you can move through the month with clarity, confidence, and maybe even a little cosmic ease. Whether you're navigating personal transformation, seeking answers, or just trying to make sense of the energy around you, this conversation is your roadmap. Let's dive in. Hi, Stevie.
Hi, good to be here.
This is one of my favorite times of the month. Let's jump in.
Happy November.
Woohoo! We made it through October.
Yeah.
There was lots going on.
Yeah, October is the time where we're really asked to go into the dark and to honor our shadow and pull through all those pieces of us that we don't really like to face very often. So November still has a lot of that energy too.
It felt like a little bit of the introduction to that in
Yes.
October. And now we get to explore more of that in
Yeah,
November.
100%. That's exactly it. The first week especially is really packed with stuff. Mercury is going to be moving retrograde, so he'll be stationing that week, which means that technology gets weird conversations. Things start to feel a little funky in your mind. He actually goes retrograde on the 9th, but that whole week, the first week of November, you're going to feel that. And it's a full moon. So,
Yes, in one of our favorite places.
yes, in Taurus.
Yes.
So yeah, we start the week with Mars moving into Sagittarius on the 4th, which means that our drive tends to move towards more having experiences, fun, sometimes getting a little sanctimonious because that's the shadow of Sagittarius. It's now this is right and this is wrong. But overall, we're really driven to lighten up a little bit and go do something that you do when you realize you're a human on this earth and you're just here to have experiences and collect information. So our drive is that. So it's a good month, honestly, because he'll be there the whole month to really choose things that are enjoyable for you. Go have fun.
If it,
It's a nice, like, little uplift because when Mars is in Sagittarius, our drive is in Sagittarius, meaning that we are looking at the big picture. So Sag likes to zoom out from a bird's eye view and say, now, what's the point? What's the vision? What's the why? And how can we make that why a little lighter? It's less attached to the details and the control, and it's more attached to the big picture vision. So think about that over this month. And it's also the reason why Thanksgiving feels the way that it does is because it's Sagittarius season and we're all like, can we just chill and have fun?
yes.
Can we just have a beer? And it's that kind of energy, especially after being in the depths of Scorpio season. So Mars is going to take his turn the whole month in Sagittarius. And then on the 5th, we have a full moon in Taurus at 13 degrees. This is such an interesting one because it's coming off of that new moon on October 21st. So whatever seeds were planted on October 21st with the new moon in Libra, it's not the opposing sign, which is interesting. That new moon, if you guys remember, it was squaring Pluto and squaring Jupiter. So there's some tension with it. And the very interesting part about this is Venus, the ruler of this full moon, is squaring Jupiter and squaring Pluto. So it's the same energy. I find that very fascinating. So the illumination with this one has a lot to do with, do I feel safe? Am I worthy? Am I secure? Are my values shifting? Because the sun in Scorpio is going to ask you to have a lantern in all those places that you might not have wanted to see. And Scorpio energy likes to go real deep, gets real intimate. And Taurus does too, but from more of a sensual place. And so you have these two fixed signs in very powerful positions right now. It's going to feel intense. Like it's a full moon already, but it's a Scorpio Taurus full moon. It's very physical. Taurus is super physical. Venus is in Libra though, saying, but are we okay? Are we good? Do we need more balance? Are we giving too much? What are we doing here? So it's really a time where you're going to have something illuminated in your life, either around your values or feeling safe, or maybe something to do with you feeling worthy, or even just, wow, my values have shifted after I've faced some of these fears and faced some of these darker parts of me. Maybe I feel safer in my body than I ever have, or whatever the case is. And Taurus too is finances. Like you can't talk about Taurus without talking about money and luxury and the physical world. There's something very physical. So I would say, as I always do, get into your body. That's a way to work with some of this energy.
Yeah. When you started talking about it, I was like, for a lot of people, I think the finances part may come up.
Yep. Time to reassess. And the thing is, too, Scorpio naturally rules like investments, taxes, joint finances. So, like, you have a moon and a sun opposite each other. So, it's like, what's mine and what's ours? So, it might also bring up maybe your partner and your finances or some investments or just it's that kind of vibe. And it's time, right, to take a look at that.
What are some physical things that someone can do to honor the full moon?
So something with Taurus, Taurus doesn't like to rush. It's very slow, very sensual. So like taking a walk, but taking in the smell, taking in the feel of the wind, that deep, sensual, present moment of all your senses. Connecting with that version of you is very beneficial. And even if you're just sitting somewhere and you're starting to feel like a lot of energy, because Scorpio can be very rageful, very stabby, very angry, and it has right to be. Usually it's like the places in which we were wronged, right? Some of that's like angry, ragey, PMS type feeling energy might surface. And so there, you need to move your body to get it out, or even just go lay in the grass, go make yourself a warm cup of tea, go take a bath, do something that just feels pleasurable, where you're really connecting with your senses and that you're telling your body you're safe, I'm loved, I'm safe, I'm loved, that kind of thing.
That's good. For me, it's like maybe get like a good workout in there.
Yeah, or go punch a punching
Yeah,
bag.
that's what I mean. It feels, do something like lift heavy weights or do
Yeah,
something.
you totally might need to get some grit, like some.
Yeah.
On the 6th, Venus goes into Scorpio. So she's been in her Libra, she's been putting her lipstick on, she's been designing, she's been styling. But when she goes into Scorpio on the 6th of November, she's much more interested in intimacy and depth and obsession, like facing stuff and talking about feelings and traumas. She wants to just, she goes all in. So she gets sexy, is what she does.
Okay. Okay. She gets deep and she gets sexy.
She gets deep and sexy, and you might get real obsessed, or you might really want to talk like deeply about how you feel. And if you're in a relationship, it's a really good time to plan like a date where you can just really connect. Or it's a good time too where your feminine energy is okay talking about things that how it feels when these things happen to you, or this like shadow stuff, the darkness. Scorpio goes,
Yeah.
it's not afraid. And it's easier too. Nothing to be scared of with Scorpio. It's like easier when we're in this season to honor our darkness. Whatever it is, your ugly side, your rage, it's just we're partly that. So Venus is okay, let's talk about it or let's feel it fully.
I think it's interesting that it's right the day after the full moon, too. So there's a lot like illuminated, and
Yeah,
then you go deep.
exactly. That same time period, we celebrate the astrological Samhain, which is on the 7th.
So Samhain ends that first week.
Yes, exactly. So that's the halfway point between the equinox and the solstice. So the 7th is a really sacred day from an energetic point of view because the sun's position is at a halfway point and so it's stronger. And then on the 8th, we have Uranus going back into Taurus.
Oh my gosh.
It's a lot.
That is a lot in this first part of November.
It's a lot.
We've talked about it a little bit in our other forecasts, but let's remind people what that means with Uranus going back into Taurus.
Yeah. We talked a lot this year about how there's this new energy, right? There was a lot of new fire and air energy, and now everything's backing up into water and earth again. So there's this stillness that we're being asked to sit in and a slowing down that we had all this new energy in the summer, and now it's okay, wait, you got to go back and finish up, sweep the crumbs out from under the rug. So Uranus in Gemini, where he's been for a good part of this year, is very mentally stimulating, like very change our education system, change your mind, just so much mental change. Think about the library, but being electrified, right? So Uranus in Taurus, though, when he moves back into Taurus, which he's been there since 2017, 2018, this is his last moment here until next year. So it's physical in Taurus. It's money related. It's safety related. All the things we were just talking about with this full moon, right? So it slows down the electricity, in my opinion. In Gemini, it's felt very much so stimulating, cool in a lot of ways because it stimulates us out of our comfort zone and to change our mind and to think about things more curiously. But in Taurus, it says, whoa, hang on. Are you, the real lesson we've all been learning is like what you thought was safe was not necessarily, you were comfortable. But
Yeah.
it wasn't good for you, right? It wasn't your authentic, realist truth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's been shaking us like out of our comfort zone, out of what feels safe and secure, and saying, okay, because Taurus's shadow is to just stay the same because it's so afraid of changing, right? We both know this being Taurus.
Yes.
We'll just root down and say, I'm comfortable here. And so I'm good and safe. And it's, yeah, great, but you're not living your truth. So Uranus and Taurus has been shaking us there and saying, I don't think that's actually true for you. And I'm going to shake you a little bit out of what felt comfortable. So he's on his last mission to clear that up.
That to me, let's underline for people because I do feel like you're going to feel some change happening, but it's already been happening. And whatever is going to happen now is going to be for your greatest good.
Yes.
And hopefully you will be in a better place of acceptance, whatever it is. I feel like excited
Yeah.
because I'm ready for whatever that's going to be.
Right. And Uranus is the great liberator. He sets us free from these prisons we put ourselves in. So in Taurus, we could imagine like something happening with the financial system or economic system. And I'm surprised more didn't happen, to be honest with you, in the last 5 years. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, we're going to be shook from the root and it's going to feel more physical than mental. But I think it also is going to partly feel like a little bit of a mental relief for some of us. Because I don't know about you, I've definitely felt like just very
Yes.
right, like overwhelmed, like even being on social media and stuff. It's just, this is a lot.
It's too much. It's too much. It has
So,
felt like too much.
yeah,
Yes.
so bringing us back to the body, hopefully.
Yeah. And I really do think there's like the personal and the collective, and it's going to be felt in both places. But I know personally, when I think about Uranus in Taurus starting, you said 2017.
Yeah.
Think about your life, 2017, 2018. Think about who you were then and who you are now, just
Yeah.
personally, not even collectively. I think about that and I know what I've been working on since then. And to have that kind of go to whatever next level it's supposed to is
Yeah.
exciting. And I talk to a lot of people, as do you, who have had a lot start in 2017, 2018.
For
So I
sure.
feel like we're speaking to you right now. Know that there's going to be more clarity in whatever you've been doing and working on. How long is Uranus in Taurus now?
So April 26th of 2026 is when Uranus goes back into Gemini again.
So that's good to know.
We have until the end of April of 2026 to sweep up this.
Okay. So it all starts again on November 8th. All right.
So it's technically the second week in November, right? All
Yes.
that happens, but it's just packed.
So we had November 8th, then we had November 9th with Mercury retrograde starting, which
Yeah.
really for people listening, the energy of that really started in October.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
You were on the track.
Mercury's already on that track in October, and then he stops and he's, wait a minute, I forgot something. I got to go back. And so then he goes back to where he already was in October.
Yeah.
And then he stops again, is okay, got it. Now I'm going to go back again on the track. So he crosses this, he's in this zone in your life, and this can show up in your marriage, your home, your work, like wherever he is in your chart will really show you where he is in your life, what's happening, where are you slowing down, what are you reflecting on. He's digging, he's researching,
Digging. Like
he's obsessing. He's obsessing.
so really think about those last few weeks, especially of October, because that's a lot of where he's going back after. So if there was anything that came up, then you may see some of that coming back up again.
Yeah. And as I always say, retrogrades are sacred, even if they're annoying.
Yes.
They're really important for us. We need to stop for a minute and need extra time sometimes. So that's what it's giving us.
And if, listen, if your internet connection goes down or your phone's acting up, take it as a sign that you're supposed to stop.
Yeah, don't fight against it. It doesn't work.
No, it does not. So,
Yeah. From the 10th to the 16th, there's much less things to talk about. Jupiter is going retrograde on the 11th. So Jupiter's energy will be really strong those days before and the days after, which just essentially means he's in Cancer. So it could mean like they're showing me this image of deep nostalgia. And I don't know if anybody else has been feeling this, but I have been feeling so much like I just want to go back to 1990.
are
And
you kidding? I've been saying that over And
Just for a week, right? Just
me,
before the internet, just
me
before,
too.
like,
I've been
yeah.
saying the same thing, Stevie.
And I'm sure everyone's longing for a part of their childhood or a version of the past that you remember in a Jupiter way, which is just good. Like, I've been saying that too. I'm just like, I just want to go back to
Simple, more simple,
simple,
honestly. Yes.
slow presence.
Yes.
It's real strong right now. And I'm sure that's showing up differently for depending on your childhood, right? And what you remember as simple, slow, different. Probably was for everybody before the internet was here, for those of us that remember that.
I feel for our children,
I
those of
know.
us who have children that did not grow up in that, for things to be more simple, more connected and present.
Yep. And obviously, we can look at this with rose-colored glasses because there's other things about it that were not great.
Absolutely.
But that longing, that nostalgia in you, that it's almost like grief.
It definitely is.
I feel it too. So that week we might be like, oh, just so when Jupiter in Cancer goes retrograde, it's a really good time to nest, to be home, to be with family, to think about how you're growing emotionally, how your emotional truth is changing, nurturing yourself, mothering yourself. But Jupiter generally feels good. It's probably
Yeah.
going to feel like a bit of a, oh, this week feels nice, even though Mercury is still retrograding.
Retrograde. Yes.
So like this week we will really start to feel that slow down and chill out. So yeah, that's really all I have for that week.
This feels it's like a lot of integration of
It
all
is.
these things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after that, we have on the 20th is the new moon in Scorpio at 28 degrees. And this one is conjunct Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Mercury actually stations retrograde in Sagittarius. This Mercury retrograde, for a small bit of time until the 19th of November, Mercury will be in Sagittarius. Mercury goes back into Scorpio on the 19th. This is where he goes really deep into his research or obsessive, like, it's time to slow down and really take a look at some of these things. On the 20th is that new moon in Scorpio, and it's conjunct Mercury retrograde. So this is Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Lilith, actually, all in Scorpio, Black Moon Lilith.
Yeah, you have to tell people what that is.
I'm not going to say I'm a great expert on Black Moon Lilith because it's not anything I've ever sat with energetically or even studied, but she is our shadow. And she's like
Okay.
a rageful bitch. You might not want to keep that in there. I don't know, but
Kidding? Of course I do.
okay.
What do you
Okay.
think? Let's talk about
Like
Rageful Bitch Lilith.
like Kali, right? Like dark goddess, deep truth, but stabby. So when she's in Scorpio, it's even more. It's almost like where she feels naturally home to me. I don't know
I
if she,
bet.
but yeah. So we have a new moon at not the last degree of Scorpio, but pretty close. So we've gone through Scorpio season at this point. We're planting a seed at the end of it. And so this one's deep. It's intense. There's no other word for this besides intense. It is a new moon, not a full one. So it's not like the energy is going to be intense, but internally intense.
Oof.
If you feel like bitchy and rageful, and it's just a lot of Scorpio energy. So you might need to sit with some feelings. It's a lot of water. Think about Scorpio as the deep lake, like sitting still in that fixed deep lake.
What do you do with that? Like in terms of literally, what can you do on that day?
I would say talk to your ancestors, cry, get into a bath. I'm not saying you're gonna just lose your mind and be so emotional, but with such depth and such deep feeling, it can feel dark, it can feel depressed.
And it feels, at least in the States, will be coming up that following week into Thanksgiving. You may be seeing a lot of family, and every family dynamic is different. I know new moons are not necessarily a release, like they're really for setting intentions.
A
So maybe
startup.
it's being able to get certain things out of you so you can set some intentions.
Yes. That's actually a really good point. I would say even the days before when the moon is in the balsamic dark moon phase is the real, because I don't personally think that full moons are for release. I think they're more for an illumination. I think the
Ooh, yeah.
days leading up to the new moon are where you're like, you are really like, okay, I did the whole lunar cycle.
I love that way of thinking.
Right. Now the soil is fertile again, and I'm gonna ready to start over again. And this new moon, it has really harmonious aspects to Jupiter and Pluto. So it's not the same tension that the last lunar cycle had, but it's just such depth and such intensity. So yeah, this could be really good time to set intentions around some of the things that you want healing for, some of the traumas that you have, some of the ancestral curses, and like it's generational trauma. It's all of that stuff. So I think working with the ancestors all month, same as October, we talked about this, is a really good time to do that. I think letting yourself rage a little bit, maybe writing a letter and burning it, let your ugly human out. I'm always telling my clients, like, yeah, just let her out. She's that raging bitch that just is so mad and so evil, quote unquote, so dark. And even just like sitting in darkness has been something I keep hearing is like, what if you just sat in actual darkness and just sat in darkness and like slowed way down and was fully with yourself? Not that everyone's going to feel called to do that, but it's definitely something that we're being called to sit with our darkness.
That's interesting.
And even just planting an intention, like really quickly, like over this lunar cycle, I want something to come to the surface that needs to come to the surface that I'm missing.
Yeah, definitely.
I know it sounds dramatic because Scorpio is, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, it's really an invitation. Get in
Yeah.
touch with that ragey self.
Yes. Let her out.
Let her
Yep.
out.
Yep. Get a punching bag.
So then we then enter Sagittarius.
Yeah. 2 days later on the 22nd, the sun moves into Sagittarius and the energy very much shifts. Everybody feels this. I know I do. The week of Thanksgiving, it feels so different, doesn't it?
It does.
That's the difference between a Pluto-Mars ruler that is Scorpio season compared to a Jupiter ruler, which is Sagittarius, which we're like, oh,
Yeah, you can breathe. Things feel
yeah.
better. They do. It
It
does.
feels different. Yeah, we start Sagittarius season on the 22nd, and the rest of the month is that energy. And we also start a new Mercury cycle a couple days before that. So there's this newness around this new moon. Honestly, it is a new energy. And you're dealing with Scorpio, which likes to go deep, and Sagittarius, which likes to see the big picture and the why that we do things and why are we here? What does it all mean? So when the sun moves into Sag, we get more of a detached big picture. We're more in our vision. It's a good time to like vision board or think about your why, or it's a kind of like manifestation energy. It's easier.
Sagittarius is?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
It's because it's easier for Sag to be like, oh, I'll just zoom out and I'll just stay in the
Yeah.
vision and
Yes,
not control all the details of it all.
I get that. And
Yeah.
that question everything.
Yes, just have experiences. Let's just play the game. Let's play this video game. Oh, that
Yeah.
Sag is really good at that. Go have fun again.
Thank you, Sagittarius.
That's basically the gist of it. We have a little slice of Scorpio or a lot of Scorpio, and then the Sagittarius a few days later to lighten it and give you even perspective on it too, after you've been in the depths of yourself.
And when is Mercury out of retrograde?
It's pretty much the whole
So
month.
does it go into December?
No, it's the 29th. So just at the
Okay.
end of November,
Okay.
Mercury will be stationing again and we'll have that same Mercury energy, but it will start moving forward again on the 29th. It's
Okay.
the whole month almost, honestly.
So it was the 22nd that we go into Sagittarius,
Yeah.
and that is really leading us into that last week of November.
The last week of November, Saturn is turning direct.
Oh my goodness. God, we just
I
have
know.
so many lessons. What's
I know.
on?
I know. Luckily, the sun shifted into Sag, so maybe this won't feel as heavy because often Saturn moving direct can feel like your principal knocking on your door and saying, hey, did you do that thing? Remember you said it?
Totally. And you have Uranus.
Changing signs too. Yeah. It's a spicy blender of energy this month. But yeah, Saturn moves direct on the 28th. And so you will feel him probably 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, especially. And Saturn very much feels like a knock that says, hey, remember you're supposed to do those things.
It'll
Why
be
aren't you?
interesting too, knowing that for a lot of people, again, you might be with family around 27th, 28th, 29th, like that whole, those few days. So it's this opportunity, if you're so called, to put certain things to test yourself.
And so Saturn is been asking us like what our boundaries are. So it might have a lot to do with that time of, okay, I need to hold a boundary. Like they're showing me this image of, and when I say they, you guys, it's just my guides show me things sometimes, but take a day off from the family and go home and do something that is very Saturnian. So, oh my God, I really just need to dust my house, or I really just need to get this paperwork together before the new year. Because the thing with Saturn is you're going to feel the knock, but it also is this energy you can flow with that helps us okay, I'm going to grit down and I'm going to get these things done. So
Yes.
take a day off if you can and use this energy right around this time to get some things done before December starts.
That's good advice. And then we wrap things up with Mercury direct on the 29th.
Yep. And then on the 30th, Venus moves into Sagittarius. She goes through Scorpio the whole month pretty much. And then she changes to Sagittarius. So again, she just asks us to prioritize fun and pleasure through experiences and conversations and storytelling. Venus and Scorpio wants to like get super deep, where Venus and Sag just, let's go have a shot and dance on the dance floor. She's very different.
It reminds me of, if you haven't listened to, we did an episode with, it was me and Stevie and Lizzie Cutler and Lisa Nitskin and Michelle Nolan and Karen. And I remember Lisa very distinctly saying that a lot of messages that she's been receiving from the other side for all of us for now that you're listening to this, and it really started at end of October, was to go play and have
Yeah.
fun. And so it very much to me mirrors that message.
Yeah. Go dance.
Go dance.
That's just what I
Yes,
think. It's my fun, but yeah.
me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Go have a shot and dance.
I'll do both.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds great.
Yeah, totally.
That's awesome. So there's a lot of moving parts to this month. It's deep.
It is deep.
Ends on a good, fun, more fun note as we go into December. And for a lot of people, that is wrapping certain things up, holidays, and it is usually more fun. There's a coziness, there is playfulness, but we'll talk about December
And that's the thing
next
too. Like,
time.
what's cool is we've been having Mercury retrograde go into the new year
Yes,
for
we
like the
have.
last, and this is the first year where that's not true.
Yes, I'm
So the
so
new year's gonna
happy.
feel different. Yeah, and we'll talk more about that in December for sure.
Okay, good.
So we get it done in November.
Thank you for pointing that
Yeah.
out, because we've talked about that each year and I'm so interested to see how it feels now. But yeah, again, we will talk about that. And so just know that there's light after we go deep and look at our darkness. It's
Yeah.
coming. And we're here to support you. Thank
Yeah.
you, Stevie. And you can find out more about working with Stevie and all her offerings at steviecalista.com. You can also check out seekingcentercommunity.com, where we all come together and support and inspire each other every day. And thank you.